This year, it's a cooperative endeavor supported by the Pinkerton Foundation and the Robert Sterling Clark Foundation, both here in New York City. We thank them for their support. I think you can tell if you've been to these before that this is a slightly smaller room. We used to occupy the entire room going that way all the way over to 11th. We decided for this topic that it probably had a little less appeal for the general youth justice community because today's topic is about close to home, which has some popular elements to it, but it's also a lot of organizational details and policy and bureaucracy. And I had two experiences on Friday that reminded me of the effect that bureaucracy has on our lives. The first one was when I opened up my mailbox and saw that horrible letter I hate to see that says Internal Revenue Service on the return address. And I took a deep breath and opened it up, and then I saw the word penalized, that we are being penalized for paying an incorrect amount of federal taxes. And then I started looking at the detail, and I saw it says, we paid $5 too much. And for that infraction, we are being fined $102 for paying $5 too much. But they're willing to deduct the $5 overpayment from our fine. And I thought, what world is this? Yeah. So now do I go to someone and like hire them to talk to the IRS, or do I just pay the $97 and walk away? The second bureaucratic experience I had on Friday, which some of the people in this room know about because they got an email from me with all caps in the subject field, was at about, when was that? Maybe shortly after noon, we were informed by the college here that they would be having a surprise fire drill this morning at 9 o'clock, and that we would not be exempted, get no waiver, we would have to evacuate the building. And we thought, what, do we have everyone assemble and then announce now we have to all go outside like it's second grade and we get to like start the event outside? Or do we postpone it? Do we cancel the whole event? Do we start late? And so some of the speakers got emails saying, could you stay late if we were to start late? And how do we notify? It's like Friday afternoon. How do you tell everyone that you're postponing an event? And my partner and friend here, Ann Jacobs, who runs the Prisoner Reentry Institute, sent me an email saying, why don't you try calling Jeremy Travis? And it just never occurred to me to call the president of the college about something like this. But I called him, he was in a meeting, and in 30 seconds he said, call Rob Pignatello, who's the vice president for operations and administration. I called Rob, and about 10 minutes later they'd called back and said that they had contacted public safety and canceled the fire drill and would reschedule it for a later date. And I never knew you could do that. Gladys Carrion told me, see, you have to learn to challenge authority. And I think of myself as being fairly challenging to authority, but I guess I do it mostly in a snarky way behind its back. I usually don't walk right up to it and challenge it. So those are my two bureaucratic experiences on Friday. Close to home is a lot about challenging bureaucracy, changing bureaucracy, understanding other people's point of view, figuring out why they use language that's different than yours, how you can mesh your procedures with their procedures. And we're going to talk about that some today. And to start us off, I thought I'd have one of our funders welcome you to this event. So I'd like to ask Rick Smith, the president of the Pinkerton Foundation, to come up. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. A couple of thoughts about your welcome. The first is organizational detail, bureaucracy, smaller invitation list. You really know how to sell a conference. The second is your description of the fire drill reminded me that sometimes to challenge authority, you need to go to the ultimate authority, and you learned a good lesson there. I too would like to welcome you to this morning's conference. When Pinkerton launched the Pinkerton Fellowship Initiative nearly 3 years ago, our primary goal was to establish a pipeline from John Jay to many of the small nonprofit organizations that we support in the youth justice field, and it's been enormously successful, certainly on the part of the organizations who have enjoyed the work of the fellows, and I think from talking to a number of the fellows, they've really enjoyed it and learned a lot as well. The secondary goal of the program was to raise the profile of nonprofits on the John Jay campus. I was very surprised in an early conversation with Jeremy Travis when he said, you know, one of the things that this can do is connect more of our students with this part of the juvenile justice system. That surprised me, but over the course of the last 3 years, and now coming to the 4th symposium, I think we have had some positive effect in getting more conversations going on the campus about the role of nonprofit organizations in juvenile justice. There is probably no point where the interests of the school and the research community, the nonprofits, and all of us who care about the youth justice system intersect in a more profound way than close to home. And so I'm looking forward to a rich, full discussion, lively discussion, some respectful disagreements, I'm sure, and maybe, if we're lucky, a little wisdom on a subject that we care deeply about. So thanks again for coming.